My name is Sarah. I'm writing this email because something really strange happened to me. I live in India, and this happened about 2 years ago when I was 16. I live with my parents and 2 older brothers. In our neighborhood, there are only about 10 houses built in the same style, 2-story houses. My parents and I sleep on the first floor, and my brothers sleep on the second, so it was just like any other morning. I woke up and my mom and older brother Ali were talking in another room. They were loud, but I didn't really pay attention. I was brushing my teeth and getting ready for school when my brother came into my room and jokingly said, "Wanna see a ghost? Come here." I was so confused and a little creeped out. He walked to my parents' room and pointed to the window. Look. There was a huge road in front of our house and I saw a man standing in the middle of it wearing a shawl. It was winter and the fog was thick outside, making it hard to see. He was looking to the left, where there were bushes and dense trees. It looked like a small forest. My mom was terrified, having never seen him in our neighborhood, but I thought he was waiting for someone. We watched him for about 10 minutes, and what really gave me the creep was that he just kept staring at the bushes without moving a muscle. Then we shrugged and started getting ready for the day. My older brother Assad used to always take me to college on his scooter. And as we were leaving, I saw the man standing in the middle of the road, still facing the bushes. My brother passed him, and I watched him closely for a few seconds. He was wearing white pajamas and a light brown coat. His shawl was off-white and covered him from head to knee. I could only see his eyes, and when my eyes met his, a shiver went through my body. I could only see his eyes, but I could tell he was smiling, and his smile seemed to be a wide grin. I got goosebumps. During the ride to college, I kept wondering, is he smiling at me, or is he smiling at something in the bushes? Once I got there, I quickly forgot about it, focused on my day. I left the university around 3 p.m. and rode home on a 3-wheeler, a vehicle similar to a taxi. I was on my phone the entire ride, and as I neared home, I saw the man. I looked outside and saw the same man still standing there, in the same position. The thought of him standing there for 8 hours in the winter, without moving a muscle, was mind-boggling. I was horrified. The driver was driving in the opposite direction, so I couldn't see his face, only his back. I wondered if he was still smiling. I went home, ate and slept. I woke up around 10 p.m., the time my dad usually gets home from work. My mom and I were talking about the day, and I had completely forgotten about the man. Then my dad arrived and told my mom he had been standing there since the morning. I ran to the window, and sure enough, he was there, staring at the bushes, not moving a muscle. Before coming home, my dad went to the man and asked him why he'd been standing there all day, but he didn't say anything. We were all so confused as to why he'd been standing there all day, especially in the winter. After dinner, before bed, my dad told us to lock all the doors and windows. He didn't usually say that, so I figured it was about the man. I locked everything and double-checked to see if he was still there, and to my surprise, he was. We went to bed, and the next morning, I was eating breakfast and watching TV, when I suddenly remembered the man. I looked out the window, and he was gone. He hasn't been seen since. We were all horrified by it, but after a few days, we all collectively forgot about it. I asked countless questions like, why was he standing there? Why was he staring at the bushes? Was there something in the bushes? But we never got any answers, and the man standing outside still remains a mystery. It was a normal, cool evening. My mom and I were heading to Coles to buy some new clothes for me, since I had outgrown my old ones. We walked in, and at first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. At one point, I grew bored looking at clothes, so I told my mom I was going to explore the store on my own. She nodded and told me to stay close. As I wandered off, I noticed a woman. She was dressed in all black with long, black hair, and she was staring right at me. Her eyes were wide open, black eyeliner streaked down her face. Her eyes were so wide it looked unnatural. A wave of fear hit me. I frantically looked around for my mom, While I couldn't find her, panic started to set in. Then, I turned back. The woman's even closer, smiling. That same, unsettling, creepy smile. I was so scared I couldn't even think straight. I didn't have a phone, so there was no way to call my mom for help. Thinking quickly, I darted into the clothing racks, trying to hide. Then, a hand grabbed my shoulder. I stifled a scream and spun around. Here's my mom. Relief washed over me, even as she scolded me for running off, but her words barely registered. My mind was locked on the woman. The woman could still be out there, watching, waiting. Then, my mom's tone shifted. Her face grew more serious. She asked if I had seen a woman with long black hair and white eyes. My heart skipped a beat. She had just described the exact woman I'd seen. I told her yes, that I had seen her, and that I was terrified. My mom nodded. She quickly paid for our things, and we left. Nothing happened after that, but the image of her never left me. Her eyes, her white smile. Even now, it still gives me chills. My name is Sam, and I'm from South Africa. In August of 2024, something terrifying happened to us. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment in a block of flats with my 9-year-old daughter Coco. One Sunday at 2:30 a.m., we were fast asleep with all the lights off, as we usually are. Then I suddenly woke up to the sensation of someone reaching for my tablet right beside me. At first I thought it was my daughter Coco. She often grabbed the tablet when she can't sleep. But then I realized something was very wrong. There was an unknown man in our apartment. I'm a light sleeper, especially where my daughter is concerned. So I screamed as loud as I could and grabbed him. I think my son reaction made him freeze for a moment. He already had my iPhone in his hand, the one Coco had been using earlier that evening. We started fighting, and as we struggled, we both fell on top of my daughter, who was still asleep. I was terrified, thinking if he overpowered me, he'd go for her naked. I pushed him out of my room and into the living room. I was just trying to get him out. In a panic, I grabbed the pots and pans and threw them at him, anything I could find. Finally, he backed away, opened the door, and lay low. I was in shock, thinking the door must have been unlocked, but later discovered he had crept in through the bathroom window. We live on the second floor, and I never thought to lock that window. I assumed it was safe. He was skinny enough to step on the balcony rails and squeeze through the burglar guards. Once inside, he unlocked the front door so he could escape quickly if he needed to. Despite my screams, none of my neighbors came to help. They called later to say they'd heard something but hadn't come down. I was devastated, but at least I managed to cancel my bank cards on Apple Pay before any payments went through. We don't live in an apartment anymore. We're okay, but we're scared of living alone for now. A few days later, we found out there was a group of thieves targeting homes in our area. I was the only person who woke up during the break-in. Others lost much more valuable items. 2 days after our incident, one of these thieves was found dead in the morning. I don't know whether it was the same man who entered our apartment, and honestly, I don't much care. They chose that life.